Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of many. Goodbye, Bullshit. Hello, Happiness. Young and Empowered Edition. We are, Samir from the last time we talked. And I finally convinced this young man to do this with me and
Yes.
share his wisdom with all of us. And I'm really excited and happy. And I think we can really bring something exciting and guidance for all the young people out there, get them through whatever it is that they're going through right now. So I'm really excited about this. And just to do some administrative updates. So Goodbye Bullshit, Hello Happiness now is going to have the Young and Empowered. It's going to have conscious parenting once a month. And I'm working on another one that will do once a month as well, and that's going to be curiosity, answering your curious questions. And then the other show is going to be just guests that I'll bring up. So my one-on-one the sessions that it's just me and I do guidance by myself. I will not be doing those on Goodbye Bullshit, Hello Happiness anymore. I'm moving that kind of guidance. I want to spend more time and really grow my unicorns group, my Holistic unicorns, and I want to give them more. So I'm moving the guidance that I do by myself into that platform. So if you're interested in that, just go to holisticunicorns.com. But Goodbye Bullshit, Hello Happiness will continue, and we're going to have a lot more exciting content for you guys as well. So you just don't have to look at me anymore by myself. All right, Samir, let's get started. Young and empowered. I think the two of us, we said we're going to talk about family. Family issues, dealing with family. I know everybody, um, that's one of the main things that we struggle with. You know, we are born into these families, and we sort of want to make it all in one, encompassing that everything we need has to come from the family. Family's going to be there. Family is your place of love and support, which actually I was talking to a client the other day, is that we get so consumed by that, that we forget that we are beyond our physical family that we came into this world with. Physically, actually, in this, we have a bigger, if we tap into a bigger source of people, family can be beyond just the family we were born into, and we get a bigger source of love from them once we expand. Also, when we connect to others beyond the physical as well. There's a spiritual family, there's a family in the nature around us that can be a source of love. So, expanding on that. So, I would like to hear your thoughts about self love, receiving love, and our physical family, our family that we're born into.
Okay. No, not a problem. I just definitely want to start off by thanking you for bringing me on here again.
I'm so
I'm very grateful. I cannot
excited.
wait. Young and empowered. It's this is awesome. I'm excited. I'm fired up, and I can't wait to impact the youth and impact people that are going through similar struggles that we go through every day, but just don't have
Mhm.
anybody to relate to. So um, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. And young and empowered. Let's do this. So you spoke a little about family issues, and I'd like to elaborate a little bit on that. I feel like the everybody has a different walk of life. Everybody family means something different to to every individual person, and a lot of times in the dynamic where you really see the family to be very important to you. meaning blood family, you kind of take on pressures, especially as a young person growing up in this world. You take on pressures to not let them down, to make them proud of you, to be a good, to, to live on the legacy, to continue on. A lot of people have different cases, different circumstances. First generation Americans, families have come from different countries and established themselves here in this country, and there's pressures that even though mom and dad don't necessarily understand that they're putting on them, but there's pressures that kids growing up in those dynamics feel. And I feel like there needs to be a better there needs to be a better comprehensive like conversation about that. It all begins with a conversation, and it all begins with accountability. Just not necessarily you know expecting so much from your kids, and easing your way into those what you expect from them. Or just not putting expectations to begin with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love actually, that's a very important point that you said. I myself moved here when I was, 11, 12. I left
Mhm.
Iran. And it is very tough. And I deal with, I see families that even their kids were born here, but since they grew up in a different culture, they're still the kids are having a hard time because they're born here, they're raised here, and they can't even understand those pressures that go with that culture that their parents are putting on them. And I know it was certainly for me, and I see it in so many adults that moved like me at a young age and had that dual culture. And I see it in the kids and adults that were born here, were raised here, but yet the parents were um, not born and raised here and bringing that culture. So I'm happy that you address that. And expectation, it's very hard. I think if the parents are not conscious enough of their own sort of feelings and emotions and what they're carrying, they do unconsciously put that on the kids.
Right.
And I know for like myself, I've tried so hard I always say, one of the major things that because I got into this and removed my stuff was that I didn't want to put that on my son. And there's that generational cleansing sort of that needs to happen. Somebody in this generation needs to step up and say, okay, it stops with me.
Right.
And I think one of the reasons for my own personal that I want to do this Young and Empowered, because, young folks out there, don't look to your parents to stop what's been passed down generationally. You are here to stop it as well. You are here to, some of the things that's just not making sense anymore. Some of the traumas that's been carried down from generation to generation, those expectations that you're talking about, it needs to stop someplace. And why not with you young folks out there? You be the ones that to change things and stop it.
Right. Right. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I myself I'm the same situation that was mentioned previously. My parents come from Haiti,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they've established themselves and positioned themselves into being, living the American dream. They came to the land of opportunity. They created a family, and they have stable lives. So it's naturally the parent wants their child to have a better life than they did.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older personally, I'm understanding that more and more and more. And what has got me past, maybe unfair situations growing up, is that I've come to terms that my parents did the absolute best they could,
Yes.
the absolute best job that they could possibly do with what they had, and I'm so grateful for them, and I'm so grateful for them. And there's no there's no resentment, there's nothing,
Mhm.
even if there were unfair situations, even if my mother did, didn't show me enough affection sometimes, or didn't,
Mhm.
these they're doing the absolute best that they possibly can, and this is a product of they are a product of what their parents did to them and raised them. So putting that all aside, and like you said, taking that accountability and saying that this stops with me, it's rare that you come to these realizations um, at an early age, and the fact that I'm grateful, and I have to do something about it. And um, I want to put out the message to everybody who's probably going through a similar situation with their parents and not seeing eye to eye, not understanding their parenting style, is that most cases, 90% of the cases, that's a random number, but they're doing the best that they possibly can. They're doing the best that they possibly can, and they're taking on troubles of the world too. And then they have to step in the role of mom and dad, and a lot of the times the way they cope with their problems might not necessarily be nurturing, but you have to realize that they're doing the absolute best that they can, and you have to meet them halfway somewhere so that they could be that relationship that we can learn and grow from each other.
Beautiful. Yes. I love what you said. My clients, when they come, that's one of the things when we want to talk about is that saying things doesn't mean that we're saying the parents were bad. We're not saying, parents can absolutely do their best, and they are doing their best. And
Right,
yet things can happen to the kids because of so many factors that go in there. But a parent is doing their best from a place of the trauma that they've experienced, from a place of fears that they have, from the struggles that they're dealing with in their social lives.
hmm,
And like you said, especially for those immigrants, when they come, it's even more. And so everybody, even us as, kids, young adults, everybody, we all doing our best.
right,
So let's put that out there every day. Get up in the morning and say, I'm doing my best. The people around me, everybody's doing their best from whatever it is, the place they're at.
exactly,
You don't know, like somebody doesn't know what's on the other side. So from this side they're doing their best, so
right,
from their struggles, everything. And yes, those parents, they've done their best. So let's start there. And then now, what do I want to do better? What do I want to do that's better for me, better for
right.
the generations that are coming after me, for my world, for my society?
Exactly, exactly. And then, like you said, what is it for me? And in the position of the child of your parents, you have to start asking yourself the question like, okay, I'm writing my own story now. This is my story. From adolescence up to teenagehood, they were guiding me. They were holding my hand. They were giving me their ideas. That their right version of right or wrong was my version of right or wrong. But now, as you progress, you start defining those things by yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to write your own story, and you have to be aware, even if it's from your parents or if it's from anybody around you, when people try to project their fears or their shortcomings onto you, because now if you allow that in, you've unconsciously created a block for yourself, because you're operating from a limited mind, because some somebody could care for you to death, and they'd be so afraid of something. Maybe it's a risk that you need to take. So it's it's an awareness of leaning on your moral compass a little bit more. Taking definitely knowing that the advice is coming from a great place. I'm sorry, Tank is running a little wild over there,
It's all
but
right.
it's writing your own story. It's writing your own
Yes.
story and being confident and walking your path with your chest up and your chin up, and and knowing that your parents, everything that they do comes from a place of love.
I love you mentioned writing your story, because this is what this life is all about. We come into
Hmm.
this physical form in particular for these stories, for these experiences, for these experiments. And those
Right.
experiences from your past, from your parents, it's a part of the totality of your story. It's making you who you are as well. It's
Hmm.
giving you something in order for you to say, okay, you know what? I tasted this. I was this character in this story. Now, how do I want to shift the story? What more do I want from this story? What do I want to experience in this lifetime? And what I want to make it part of the story going forward.
Right.
And again, you're doing your best. It's okay, things are gonna come. There are gonna be fears, but then looking at those fears, opening it up and saying, well, is this really my fear, or is it something that's passed down to me by family, passed down by society? And now that I see it, what do I choose to do with it? Where do I
Exactly.
want to fit it in? Do I even want to have it part of my story still?
Right. Right. And it's beautiful because you're the creative director of your own life,
Yep.
whether you're thinking about it or not. Like you're the one calling the shots.
Yeah.
So whenever you catch yourself in like autopilot or like indecisive or in situations where you feel like you're not calling the shots, just take a step back, observe, and tell yourself, I'm running the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna play by my rules, and I'm going to use the talents that I've been given to do the best that I possibly can and make this movie beautiful.
Another key point you said, my rules. I love
Right,
that, because I always say leave the rule book out,
right,
because the rule book you have right now is most likely not yours. You are in that rule book. If you open it up, there's the family rules, there's society rules, generational rules. There are all these rules that is not even yours. Throw
exactly.
the rule book out, start a new rule book. What is
Mhm.
it? What's my rule in this? What works for me? What feels good for me? What are my choices? And you say moral compass. Everybody says, well, if we throw the rule book out, aren't we going to become these awful humans, awful people? And that's just not true, because if you go inside to your heart and you are coming from your heart, you are going to be guided by love. You are going to be
Mhm.
guided by that universal force of love that has connected everything and everybody. And the more closer you are to that, you will not be going in a direction that is going to harm you or others
Yep, I
once you
agree.
go from that place.
100%, 100%. And something I've been living by as of late is it's the saying, authenticity always wins. So being authentically you, whatever that is, will magnetize the life that you want. It's going to attract whatever you desire in your heart. If you ask yourself, what do I want? And can't quite find that answer yet, by being authentic and doing things that, like you said, make your soul sing, whatever that is. For me, it's working out, it's playing basketball, it's helping other people work out, it's brightening up somebody's day, it's music. When you do those things that make your soul sing, that's the biggest first step that you could ever take into being authentic, because you're gonna say, "Look, I'm a cool person. This is me. Take it or leave it." And whatever you truly desire, I feel like is gonna make its way to you.
So I struggle with this, because that feeling of make your soul sing, I
Hmm.
know that feeling. I have it every day.
Yes.
And I cannot describe to people, because I get this question all the time. Can you be happy all the time? Can you truly, fully love yourself? And I'm like, yes. But they're like, but how is it possible? And I think part of that's make your soul sing is a big part of it. So
Right.
how would you describe this, you know, knowing and getting there that your soul sings? For you, what happened for you? What did you do?
For me, it took practice because
Mm-hmm.
naturally, it's not always gonna be sunshines and rainbows. Day from the minute I wake up until the moment I sleep, there's gonna be some turbulence, some disruption, something that might get me angry. But I don't sit in that feeling more than 5 minutes. I don't sit in that. I allow it. I experience it, and I let it go. But it took repetition and practice. And I literally sat down one day and I was like, all right, I'm not going to participate in negative thoughts for a minute. I'm just not gonna allow it to happen. And then I was going through my days, and then I'm just doing my absolute best to, even when it's a busy work day, to do something for me that's gonna make me happy. That I've contributed something in my day-to-day life that I will be happy doing. For me, that's working out or playing pickup basketball. So I made sure I did something that I loved every single day, and then I was I switched up my morning routine. I woke up a little bit earlier. I woke up a little bit earlier and to have more time during the day so that I could incorporate the things that I love in my day to day. And then shortly, weeks passed, months passed, and I'm starting to find the beauty in everything. I've become a little bit more present. I haven't really been thinking about my future schedule. I haven't really been reminiscing on things that went wrong. And I'm just more present, and in those present moments, I'm finding beauty in everything, and I'm realizing there's no reason to be in a lower state of vibration for more than 5 minutes because it's not worth it. To stay in those feelings. Life is beautiful. Life is short, so let's make the most out of it. Let's operate at the highest frequency we possibly can.
I like to bring out some of the very important things you said. Practice. This
Hmm.
is not an overnight thing that is going to happen, guys. It is practice. It's you really every day, every moment, mm, practicing this consciously until it becomes part of you. It's not, that's why I always say I'm grateful for the people that take on this because um, I've done it. You've done it. It does take practice. This is not a, oh, one day you wake up and snap your fingers and you're there. It is a conscious choice that, yes, emotions come. You are going to have moments of frustrations. You are going to have moments of sadness. All those things are going to come. They're emotions. We're here in this physical body to experience these emotions. And as they come, you can accept them, invite them, see them, but don't sort of like carry them and put it on you and let's like as a cloak and okay, I'm going to carry this forward. Okay, in this moment, this is where I am. This is what I'm experiencing, and allowing for that shift to come for the next moment. All right, what do I want to do right now? Okay, I'm choosing right now. I want to go do something like you said that's going to make my soul sing so that I can shift myself, move myself. It's not even about being negative, positive, good or bad. It's about you choosing, okay, I experience this right now. And I pretty much like, I just had Chinese food. I've had Chinese food for so long. I'm really done with Chinese food. I want to have some burger now. And it's like shifting. It's like, okay, now where can I go get some burgers? And
Right.
that's the way to look at those things that come up and not, stay in it and know that you have a choice. Know that you can choose to do something that feels better for you, is best for you. And I love what you said. Now that you've practiced it enough, you get up and you're not even thinking about the future or past. You are present in the moment because you have done the practice that's gotten you to this place that's now is part of your daily routine, is part of your life. You don't even need to think about it as practice anymore because it's come ingrained in you. Every moment you get up and you're connecting to those beautiful bird sounds in the background, to your dog, to your partner, your trees, everything. You're connected and you're like, what a beautiful life.
Exactly.
And that makes it easier. I think that even when those moments come, they don't take you down anymore. You don't go
Right.
grab them anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. And you don't own them. You know,
Yeah.
you don't own these feelings. And you're so right. You're so right. We are what we repeatedly do and think of. So
Yeah.
if you consciously take that and apply it, even though sometimes it's very hard, because I've been there. It's very hard to quiet the negative thoughts and the bad feelings, but just make an attempt. Just try, and then if it doesn't, it's not successful the first time, try again. Give it a break. Try again, because eventually it's gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually it's gonna work, and then you're gonna be repetitively thinking about positive things, and then that's just gonna be your existence. Like before, good riddance. It's, that was that. It's literally repetition and practice, and it's worth it. That's the beauty of it. It's worth the time and the practice, and falling up and getting back up again. And it's worth it every single time.
I think that was perfect. I just want to stop right there. That was just perfect.
That's it.
Exactly. Because practicing it, and even what you said was beautiful, is that even if it didn't work the first time, try again. Try something different. It's going to hit. At some point, it's going to hit. Don't say, hey, it didn't work this moment. It's not going to work the next moment. Keep at it, and it's going to come. It's going to get you there. And, it's worth it. Yes, 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 yes.
Absolutely.
Beautifully done. Thank you.
Young and empowered.
Young and empowered. Yes, young people, come on, join us. Let's make this world a better place for
Let's
us,
do it.
for the generations to come. There is a better way to live, simpler way, a happier way, a higher vibration way. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Samir. Guys, you're going to
Thank
see this
you.
magnificent person here every month. And I am so excited, so happy. He's got so much to share with you guys. So come and join us.
Thank you.
Any last words?
Thank you so much for having me on the show, and I cannot wait to come back next month.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Peace. Bye.
Bye.